Hey, church, I hope you're doing well. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. It's the day after, and so I just hope that you had an awesome Christmas. An awesome Christmas Eve. I hope that you were blessed beyond belief. I hope that there were times of joy and comfort and glad tidings and all of those things that Christmas brings. I hope that you had a chance to connect with people. Maybe it was over the phone. Maybe you got to get together with people. And I hope that you just were blessed this Christmas. And so I want to say to you, Merry Christmas. And I pray that as we continue in this Christmas season, as we continue to celebrate the birth of Christ, that you will continue to meet with Emmanuel, with Jesus, with our God with us. And that you will experience the love and the joy and the hope and the peace and all of those things that God can bring through the gift of his Son. I pray that you are blessed and that you continue to be blessed in the Lord. I also want to just ask you a little question. Get anything good? Receive, any gifts that you're excited about? Something underneath the tree and you were like, yeah. I mean, even if it was just, a gift card to your favorite restaurant, did you get something that you were like, ooh, that person knows me. That person cares about me. That person loves me and thought about me this Christmas. I hope that you did. I hope that you received something that made you feel loved, that made you feel appreciated, that made you feel known. Beyond that, I want to ask you another question. Did you give anything good? Were you able to give any gifts that did that for somebody else? Did you give any gifts that showed that you loved them and cared for them and were thinking about them and wanted to bless them on this holiday? Did you give anything good? How was that gift exchange for you this year? And maybe you were disappointed, and maybe it didn't do everything that you hoped. Maybe you feel a little lonely and left out about it, and I'm sorry for that, and I pray that the Lord would comfort you in your sorrow and would encourage you in your spirit. But I have to say that this gift-giving thing is pretty neat on a lot of levels. I'm thankful for this practice where we get to give and receive. I'm grateful for the gifts that were given to me, and I'm also grateful for the way that I was able to give some folks some gifts. I mean, I didn't get to give everybody everything that they would possibly want, and maybe I didn't give even enough, but I'm grateful for this process, for this opportunity we have to celebrate Jesus and to bless one another. I'm thankful for this season. I hope you hear that. I hope you know that. I hope you understand that I'm grateful for the things I've received and the things that I'm given, because I'm going to turn away from that and be a little bit of a Debbie Downer now. Negative Ned. I'm going to pour a little rain on the parade, dampen the spirits just a bit with where we're heading for today. You see, I want to talk about stuff, and the gifts we receive can fall into this category in a little bit different light. It's not that I'm not grateful, but I want us to look at them a little bit differently. And so here's the phrase that I'm going to use for the rest of the message. Here's the catchphrase, if it were, for the sermon. And you're going to hear this more than once, but here it goes. Mo stuff, mo problems. Mo stuff, mo problems. Now you might be going, what are you talking about, mo? I'm slangifying, being hip with it a little bit. Mo, more, just shortening it up. I don't know why, it's fun for me. But mo equals more, so when I say mo stuff, I mean more stuff. And when I say mo problems, I mean more problems. Okay? Picking up what I'm putting down, you on the same page here? Mo stuff, mo problems. Now this idea, it's not original to me. I came up with, the catchy phrase, but the idea isn't original to me. And in fact, I heard it a little bit ago. I heard my father-in-law talking to my son. my father-in-law, Boyd, was talking to my son, Silas, and Silas was talking about this problem he was having with something that he owned and the difficulty that he was having with it. And he was explaining this to his pappy. And his pappy looked at him and took this moment to give like this grandfatherly advice. And he looked at him and he said, Snuff, Pappy calls Silas Snuff. He looked at him and he said, Snuff, the more things that you have, the more problems that accompany them, the more problems that you'll have with them. It's not a direct quote, but that was the idea. He was saying, mo stuff, mo problems. When you acquire things, when you get more things in your life, problems come along with them. Mo stuff, mo problems. Let me just give you a few examples from my personal life. This is just things within, the period of the last, let's say, month or so. Things that have gone to prove out this statement, mo stuff, mo problems. Exhibit A. First example, refrigerators. We have two. One refrigerator is our main fridge. It's where we keep most of our food. It's in our kitchen, the one we use the most. The main refrigerator is there for that purpose. Then we have a second fridge. It's a under-the-counter fridge, a smaller fridge that we keep in another room, and its primary job is to keep drinks cold. And so we chock it full of soda and water, and that's its job, keep the drinks cold. One refrigerator, two refrigerator. One problem, two problems. 3, 4, 5, 6 problems, depending on how you want to count. But mo stuff, mo problems. Just a little bit ago, the evaporator and the large fridge, it's that metal thing with all the little tiny metal grates in it. It decided it wanted to freeze up, and so it built up all of this ice. And that ice was blocking this internal fan from spinning. And so the refrigerator was not keeping things cold anymore. That meant I spent an afternoon taking everything out of the refrigerator, pulling out all of the shelves, taking out all of the drawers, unscrewing the back panel from it, disassembling the whole thing, heating up the ice. I unplugged it, don't worry. Heating up the ice, letting it all melt out, chiseling it out of there, freeing up the fan to put it all back together and clean the thing and throw out food that we didn't need, and on and on and on. One refrigerator, one set of problems. Shortly after that, the upstairs fridge, it decided that it didn't want to keep things cool anymore. It no longer wanted to turn on. The light would come on, but nothing else. I, investigated YouTube. I tore the thing apart. I tried to fix it, and I found nothing. So then I had to call Mr. Refrigerator Repair Guy, and I waited for him to come. And I waited for him to come, again and again and again. And finally, after a while, he came. He's a busy guy, but he came, and we tore it apart, and we were looking at it, and he found the problem. But then the problem with the problem is that you can't find the part. The part's not available. It's like a plug-and-play easy fix. The refrigerator should be good at this point, but you can't find the part anywhere. Mo stuff, mo problems. That was Exhibit A. Exhibit B, vehicles. We have two of them. One that I get to drive around most of the time, and one that Krista drives around most of the time. It's convenient for us to have two vehicles, but two vehicles, you know what that means. Mo stuff, mo problems. It's two sets of oil that needs change. It's two, brake systems that need to work properly. It's two sets of all of these things. We have to get both cars inspected. We have to make sure both cars are running well. We have to fill up both cars with gas, and neither car is going to last forever without having issue. Both of them have issues that come up from time to time. One car, two car, one problem, two problems. Mo stuff, mo problems. I think you're getting the idea. But I just want to give another example, just, to hammer it on home for a minute. Let me talk about patio furniture for just a bit. Let me mention that for just a second. You see, we're blessed with a deck. And it's a wonderful place for us to sit and to have company over, and it's a place where we play games and have memories. And because we have that deck, we need deck furniture, which is where we sit for all of these things. That's great. In the spring, in the summer, in the fall, we enjoy that immensely. But in the winter, we need a place to put that deck furniture. It's already kind of falling apart, which is another problem I won't talk about. But we need a place to store it. Here enters the shed. Oh, the shed. The shed is full of a lot of problems that I won't speak about, but the deck furniture belongs in there in the wintertime. I put it up in the loft of the shed. And so just a little bit ago, I was working on that problem. I was working on that issue. I was moving the deck furniture from the deck to the loft in the shed. And Silas was helping me, and things were going well. And I mean, it wasn't awesome. Like, my back was hurting because I have to bend over the whole time. And I was kind of grumbling about having all this stuff and having all these problems. But everything was going in there. And then I was carrying the last table. And I was putting this table up in the loft. And, you know, the loft was full at this point, and the table was pretty heavy. And I was standing on the ladder, put it up on the loft. And I'm kind of moving it around to get it to where I want it. And at that moment, in that instant, all of a sudden, the bottom of the ladder kicked out. And I fell on a pile of wood and tools and who knows what else from loft height, which was pretty high. And then the table, it decided that it wanted to fall as well. And so it came and it slid down and it caught me right in the jaw. And so there I sat. With my face bleeding a bit and all bruised up, and my back cut, and my leg cut, and my arm cut, and all these things cut, on a wood pile with my legs in between a ladder, a table on top of me. And I thought, mo stuff, mo problems. And if I go around my house, I'm tremendously blessed with where we live, and I'm very happy with the home that we have and the place that we live and all of those things. But I can't sit in a single room in my house without looking around and seeing things that need done, things that need addressed, problems that need to be solved. We don't even live in some giant home, but everywhere I look, mo stuff, mo problems. Have you found that to be true in your life? Now, I want to pause this train for just a bit. And I want to recognize that there are people who genuinely need things. You know, there are people without a roof over their head, and they need that. There are people without running water, and they need that. There are people without clean clothing, and they need that. And I'm not even really trying to get to the point where I'm saying that we all just need to get to the bare minimum. There are things that we need in our life to do our jobs, to be comfortable in our homes, to create memories. And it's okay that we have stuff. It's okay that we have things. It's okay that we receive gifts. It's okay that we have material things in our life. But we need to recognize that the more that we have, that they come at a price, that they come at a cost, that getting more things doesn't always solve problems. In fact, sometimes it creates them. Say it with me now. Mo stuff, mo problems. We have to invest time and effort and money into these new things, and then when they break, we need more time and more effort and more money. And in our society, in our culture, at least in my experience, and maybe in yours too, we sometimes have this idea that the more we get, the easier our life would be. If we just had the right gadget or tool or thing or whatever it is, that our life would be so much smoother. But we forget about the cost. And not just monetary cost, but we forget about the cost that it requires of us, and the time and the things that we could be doing elsewhere when we just want stuff all of the time. Mo stuff. no problems. It's something that I have found to be true. I recognize that I've been talking for a while and we haven't yet dug into the Bible. And so I'm going to rectify that. I'll change that. And I want to share this prayer with you that Paul prays in his letter to the Philippians. This comes from Philippians chapter 1, and we'll begin in verse 9. This is a prayer that Paul prayed for them, for their community, for that church. And he didn't pray, that they would have more stuff. He didn't pray that they would have less stuff either. But I want you to hear this prayer that Paul offers them. And this is my prayer: that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight, so that you may be able to discern what is best and may be pure and blameless until the day of Christ, filled with the fruit of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ, to the glory and praise of God. Paul prays for the church that they would be filled with love, that their love may abound more and more. And not only that they would, that their love would abound in knowledge and in insight. And why does he pray that? So that they may be able to discern what is best. So that they might be able to discern what is best and live a life that is pure and blameless before Christ. And as I consider these problems that I constantly have with the things in my life, I wonder if maybe I should adopt this prayer. That instead of focusing on all of those worries and all of the stuff and the stuff that I need and the stuff that I need to fix the stuff that I thought that I needed and all of these things, I wonder if maybe my prayer should be, may your love, Jesus, abound in me. May I increase in knowledge, in understanding, in discernment, so that I know what is best. So that I know what is best in your kingdom and may walk blamelessly before you. I wonder if I should adopt Paul's prayer as my own. And I wonder if I should pray the same thing for you. I want for you to be blessed, but I don't mean that just in a way of material blessings, that you would get more stuff. I don't mean that in a way of just health either, although I want those things for you. But beyond that, I want for you to abound in love. That your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight. I want you to live your life in a way that you are pursuing what is best. That you have wisdom from God in those areas. I want for you to pray about the stuff that you have, that you've received maybe for Christmas or that you've had for a long time, and pray and ask the Lord, is there some of this that I can, maybe get rid of and just simplify a bit, that I might know what's best in my life for you, for your kingdom? Is there some of this that we could get out of here that's taking up too much time and too much of my energy and too much of my effort when I should be spending more time loving one another and sharing your love, Jesus? Is there something that's off here where I'm accepting more problems than I need to accept? I don't know what that right answer is for you. I don't know what that right answer is completely for me. I don't know what that balance is. But I do know that Jesus needs to take precedence and priority. And that stuff isn't ever going to bring me the fulfillment that is available through our God with us, through our Emmanuel that we celebrate here on Christmas. Mo stuff, mo problems. I'm hoping maybe to do away with some of them. Just as a last little bit here, I want to share this parable. It comes from Christ. It comes in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12. And I just want these words to kind of close us out this morning. This is Luke 12, verse 16. And he told them this parable. The ground of a certain rich man produced a good crop. He thought to himself, what shall I do? I have no place to store my crops. Then he said, "This is what I'll do. I'll tear down my barns, build bigger ones, and there I will store all my grain and my goods. And I'll say to myself, you have plenty of good things laid up for many years. Take life easy. Eat, drink, be merry." But God said to him, "You fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself? This is how it will be with anyone who stores up things for himself, but is not rich towards God." Jesus doesn't say, sell it all. At least not in this parable. And he doesn't make that a universal requirement to follow him. If we think about the other parable of the rich young ruler, he doesn't say, sell it all. But this is a stern warning. And he does say, this is how it will be for those who build themselves up, who store things up for themselves, but aren't rich towards God. Talk about mo stuff, mo problems. Friend, I pray that you're rich towards God. I pray that as you are blessed and as you receive, that you are a blessing to others. That the stuff wouldn't be the focus, but that God would. And that we would realize, even in this season, where we focus so much on the things that we get, that it's more important who we are in the eyes of Christ. I pray that this prayer of Paul would be ours. Let's hear it again. That your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight, so that you may be able to discern what is best and may be pure and blameless until the day of Christ, filled with the fruit of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ, to the glory and praise of God. Amen.